this one on rebasing first. So the idea is, let's take a look. We have this, if I look at where I am, I'm on the main branch, okay? And then I also have a feature branch. So let's think about, so I'll tell you, I think I can tell you actually what happened. So we'll do a git log, and you can see we have this add readme, add main feature, and add second main feature. And then if you do a git log of the feature branch, we have add readme, add, and add new feature. So let me actually kind of like do a little diagram as to what occurred. So, why does this always happen? Okay, there we go. So basically there's the main branch, and we have this like text, add readme, and then we have, and that's where the feature branch split off. So the feature branch also gets this add readme, okay? And then there's two more commits made on the feature branch. Give me one sec, sorry. So there's like two more commits made on the feature branch, okay? Like 1 and 2. And then let's say while we were making these commits on the feature branch, someone also added a commit on the main branch. I forget, maybe there's only one. I forget if there's one or two, but the point's going to be the same. So this is my main branch. I'll use text because I learned my lesson. Main branch, MAIN. And then this is my feature branch. Okay? So if you think about it, the feature branch is two commits. It shares these three commits, right? So it has two extra commits here, and the main branch has one extra commit. And basically what we want to do, if you think about what the feature branch has, so it just has 1, 2, 3. It has this main branch commit, and then it has a new commit here, and then this is a letter N. Sorry, I can't draw it very well. And then this is a new commit here. What we want to do is we want to take that main branch commit, and we want to take any of the main branch commits, and we want to kind of place them inside, right? Place them in between my new commits. So you can think of that's what a rebase is going to do, is basically it's going to take it starts with a common. Here's a common commit, and then and then it has its existing kind of new commits, which is our feature branch, and then any of the commits from the main branch, we're going to move them over and place them before any of our new commits on the feature branch. So we're going to move over any main branch commits into this area here. Okay? So the whole goal of this, this is actually what we want. And the reason why is because we want our feature branch to share any updates from main and just have its new commits on top. That way when you look at the Git history, it looks like, we basically we are sharing the main branch's history all the way through, and then we just have two new commits on top. Okay? So that's our goal. Our goal is we want to share a common history between the main branch and the feature branch, except for the fact that the feature branch just has these two extra commits on top. Okay? So that's kind of what you can see. Let's take a look at this again. So let's just do git log the main branch. So the main branch has this readme, and that's what it shares with the feature branch. And then these are two things that are new on the main branch that we're going to want to place onto the feature branch. So if we look at the git log of the feature branch, you can see, let's just do this, git log of the feature branch. It has this add readme, and it has the add new feature. And our goal is those two unique commits on the main branch, we want to stick in between here. That way, the way the history will look is that we'll just have, main branch commit, we'll be up to date with all the main branch commits, and then we'll have this add new feature commit on top. All right. So to do that, it's actually pretty simple. Let's look at the log of the main branch again. Right. So we have these two extra commits. Let's look at a log of the feature branch. We have just one extra commit, And now from the feature branch, right, I'm on the main branch. Let's go to the feature branch. So do git checkout feature branch. Remember, this guy just has the one common commit with main and then this one add new feature. And I'm just going to do git rebase main. That's it. Okay? Now if I look at the log, we should see those two commits from the main branch stuck here, right? That way we're going to share all the commits with the main branch, except we'll have our new feature on top. So let's look at it. So we see here's my README. These are, I even use the word main each time to indicate it's coming from the main branch. So this was that common commit. This is the first main branch, commit, or, unique one. This is the second unique commit. And then here's that new feature on top. So right now, right, we kind of achieved our goal. Whereas if you look at the log of the feature branch, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 commits, and it just has one new commit. If you look at a log of the main branch, it has, right, the same 3 commits as the feature branch does. Right, same 3 commits. The only difference is that this guy has a new one. So that's exactly what we want, because now what we can do is to get this feature branch commit, right? We have a common history with main, and we just want to have this feature branch commit then be merged onto main. So just do git checkout main, and then do git merge feature branch. And now if you look at it, right, like you can see that we have, all those original commits that were on main plus the one new feature branch commit. So the command we did was we just did a checkout of the feature branch, and then we just did git rebase main. Are there questions about that? Because the next lesson is going to rely on you understanding that part. Okay. All right. Oh, cool. We do have a question. Common scenarios? Well, yeah. I guess you're asking, when does this occur? This occurs when, let's say it happens all the time, right? Because, which branch are we on? Normally what's going to happen is you're going to be on, let's say you're on the main branch, you're making a contribution, you just pulled down from LangChain. So you see that it has this, these commits on it. So what you do is you're like, all right, cool, git checkout -b, add my feature. And then what's going to happen is you make, add your git commit feature, and while you're adding your git commit feature, you get out of sync. So here's print my LangChain contribution, right? And git add all git commit -m my LangChain contribution. Okay, so now here's your add my feature, and you want to merge it in with main. But let's say that while this is occurring, they make a new commit. They update the main repository. Okay, so now you have an issue, because when you add your feature, you need to share all the same commits as main. Okay, so let's say that let's do code dot print, meanwhile, an admin, right? Some admin contributor, makes a commit that you don't have. Git add all, git commit main commit from admin. Okay, so now if we look at this, here's the log of the main branch, And then if we look at the log of add my feature, it's not going to have this guy. Okay? See this? It has our LangChain contribution, but it has nothing about the admin. So this is an issue, because if we just try to like push up to main, add our changes to main, it's not going to even let us, because it's going to say, hey, you're missing one of these commits that we used to have. What did you do with it? You're not allowed to like go back. If you think of Git as like it's a timeline, you're not allowed to really like revise time in Git unless you do a force commit. So you can't just eliminate their commit and now add this new one. So what you need to do, and we also can't like stick our guy in between, we can't stick our guy and then add the admin's commit on top, because that's, again, changing the history. So instead what we have to do is stick the admin's commit here and then put our contribution on top of that. Yeah, Kyle?
So, does Rebase, is that its own thing, or is it some combination of like I always thought that if you're in a branch of your own and then the main branch goes ahead of you, then you're supposed to like switch back to main and pull down the latest main and then switch back to your branch and then merge main into your branch.
Well, yeah, that is how you do it, right? Because what you can think of, maybe I need to
just click or just type Rebase, and it just did it for you.
Well, you can do like git pull, I think dash rebase, but basically what you're saying is, we're on our feature branch, and maybe we share we have these common commits. So this is going to be, let's say our feature branch splits off here. Okay, and so this is my feature branch, right? And then I share this with these two with the main commit, main branch. This is my contribution. Okay. Now, while we're about to merge in our contribution, we need to make sure not only are we in sync with like main, like our local main branch, but also the main branch in the cloud. Okay. So the main branch in the cloud, this is like in the cloud. It's supposed to be a cloud, but I can't draw. Okay, so this main branch in the cloud, this gets a new commit. So again, we now have an issue, right? Because if we just push this guy up, we're going to be skipping, right? This is that admin commit, right? We're going to skip it. So what do we need to do? We need to go to main. The best way to do this is go to the main branch and pull down the change. What that will do is it'll look and say, hey, you're common here, right? You already are up to date here, but you're missing one of these. So it's going to now add in, sorry about this. It's going to then add in this third commit, okay? And now think about it. This guy's ahead. This is my local main branch, right? And this is my like GitHub. This is the main branch on GitHub.
My question is even more naive. Like, what does the flag rebase do that git pull doesn't do by itself?
I know. Yeah, let's get there. Let's not jump to there right yet. So then we have GitHub main, right? So this guy's ahead by one. We just pulled down this one. We just did a git pull. So that's going to pull down this new commit into here. Now my feature branch is still missing this commit and ahead by one. We want this commit to go right here, right? That way we share common history with my local main, and we share common history with my GitHub main, right? Because these two are in sync, but this guy's off. So the git rebase is going to make sure that your new commit comes on top of all the commits from your main branch. So you would do from your feature branch, you'll type in git rebase main. Okay? There's another command you can do, which is, let's say, which is basically like, let's say that you want to kind of forget about this local main and you want to merge in these changes. So let's say we have the cloud, and then we have my local main branch that's kind of behind the cloud. It only has 2 commits on it, and then we have my feature. Okay, and let's say we want to skip kind of updating the local main. There's really no good reason for it, but let's say we just want to. What you can do is you can pull down the changes onto this feature branch and also perform a rebase such that this commit goes before my new one. So that would be git pull dash rebase. I think that's the command. And all it does is it both will pull down the change from the cloud and make sure that any of the commits on the cloud that you don't have are going to go before any of your unique commits on the feature branch. But you can just, let's just go through the normal workflow. Someone adds a commit, like an admin or whoever updates GitHub's branch. You'll go to, you'll first want to make sure your local main branch is in sync. How do you do that? Git pull origin main, merges the change, right? It takes this extra commit that the admin made, pulls it onto here. Then you'll check out your feature branch to get onto your feature branch. Currently, your main branch is ahead by 1 commit of your feature branch. So what do you want to do? You want this new commit to go before your unique commit on the feature branch. So you'll just do git rebase main, git rebase my local main branch. And then you'll push, and then you can, push up your feature branch, make a pull request, and you should be good. All right. So rebase will merge in the commits that are not on your branch, and will place those commits before any of the commits unique to your feature branch. Rebase, let me just say that again. Will merge in any commits not on your feature branch and place those commits before any of the commits on your any of the commits unique to your feature branch. This way, you share a common history. Git history with main, but just have your unique commits on top. Your unique feature commits on top. Okay. If those remote commits have the same file changes, and the same lines, that's where merge conflicts occur. Yeah, so that's what we'll show next, is merge conflicts. Okay, but the whole goal of rebasing is you want to share a common history, right? Is your Git commits are a timeline. You're not able, Git tries to stop you from changing that timeline. So you have to make sure that if they made any changes and you made any changes in the meantime, that you kind of sync those changes. So that's the git pull to local. And then, what is going on here? And then that you, that's my crossing off, that you sync those changes, and then that you rebase your feature branch. That way it is in sync with that timeline as well. And it just has added to it. Yeah, Narapati?
The rebase will also do the pulling after.
No, only if you do git pull dash rebase, but I recommend keeping them separate. So git rebase main will not do a pull. You have to first pull down the changes into main. So it'll be git pull origin main. Then you'll check out the feature branch, and now you'll rebase, and that will take this commit and place it onto the feature.
So the name is sort of intuitive rebase because you're rebasing everything on main again. You're not inserting your feature branch like an arbitrary location in the history of main. You're only putting it your feature branch new things on top.
That's a nice way of thinking about it. Yeah, that's
main base.
right. So it's kind of like what Scobie's pointing out. It's kind of like you take your branch came off of here. And it's like you moved this up. It's kind of like that equivalent. In practice, what occurs is it sees the difference. It then applies this commit, and then it applies your commit again. But yeah, that's a nice explanation. Okay, the next thing. Let's go through merge conflicts. I'll start from I'll kind of walk us through the README because that might be the easiest way. Just take it step by step. So I'm just going to do this. I think I already have a conflict repo, but I'll remove it. So what I'm doing here is I just added a commit. And we can open up the code. So I just added an initial commit on main called email main users. Then I'm going to check out the feature branch and add new commits there. Okay? So that's what this will do. So if you look at this, I'm now on the feature branch, and now I have my email main users, right? Everything, this was common with the main branch, right? So I made a new branch, a new feature branch. So I inherited this feature, and then I added two new commits, email new feature users and text new feature users. So currently, if you look at if you think about where we are right now, what we have is we have one commit on main, which is called, I think, email main users. And then and then this is where we made a new branch. And then we had email feature users and text feature users here. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is so here's my two feature commits. Email feature users, text feature users. What I'm going to do is, let's say in the meantime, someone makes a commit, like an admin, whoever, could be anyone, makes a commit to the main branch, and they're changing the same files that we're changing. So they're going to add like a text main users. Okay. All right, so a new commit here. So we're going to try to do the same thing. We're going to have to try to rebase and put this commit onto here. But the issue is, it doesn't really, Git's not going to really understand an intent. Like, it's not going to know, like, hey, are they working on the same feature that you were working on? Like how do you want to include their changes? Do you want to remove their changes because it's repetitive and it's what you were doing? Or maybe like what you were doing was really a repeat of their thing, and so you should just keep their changes. So that's going to be the issue that we're going to run into, is when we do a rebase, it's going to merge this in and then apply our commits, and it's going to see very similar changes and not know if we want to keep this original change, or we want to like if we really wanted to make those changes to those commits. So let's see that. So right now, we're on the feature branch. We share this in common with the main branch. And if you look at it, so this has this it shares in common. We're on the feature branch, right? We share this feature in common with the main branch. And then we have these two new commits, right? These are two new features on our feature branch. Then we'll check out main. And let's say while we're working on our features, someone adds a commit to the main branch which is to like text main users. So now we have that issue where this commit, right, is not on our feature branch, text main users. But if you look at it, we're changing the same file. So this is on my main branch. We have email main users, text main users. If then I check out the feature branch, and instead of writing the word feature branch, it's okay, I'll just write out the word feature branch. Now you can see this came from the main branch, but this is unique to the feature branch, okay? So it looks like, if we do a rebase here, we're going to get a conflict because, again, Git is going to be like, wait a second, it looks like you're kind of doing the same thing the admin, right, this other contributor was doing. So do you really want to like repeat yourself here? Should we just keep, what do you want to do? All right, so let's do a rebase. So I'm going to do git rebase main, okay? And think about what's going to occur. It's going to, let me just share my screen one more time. Oh, shoot, it creates a new one every time. So what this is going to do is we have this one commit on the main branch. We split off on the feature branch. We have 2 new commits on the feature branch and 1 new commit on this. If I do git rebase main, it's first going to merge in this commit. At that point, there's no problem, okay? There's not going to be a conflict at that point. The conflict is going to occur when then it applies to try my feature commits, apply them on top, okay? So first it's going to have a conflict here because it's going to be like, wait a second, it seems like, this admin guy did what you're trying to do. So are you sure you want to do that? And then again, it's going to say basically the same thing. Hey, like, wait a second, now you're trying to make another change. Are you sure this admin or whoever didn't already cover it, right? So it's going to have a conflict with, it's going to first apply this commit from main, and then it will have a conflict with both of my feature branch commits. So let's see that. So I'm going to do git rebase main. Okay, here's my merge conflict. Before we freak out, let's save that. Let's first do a git log, okay? So you can just see, so take a look at this. Email main users and text main users. This is from my feature branch, right? It is rebasing, but trust me, this is rebasing the feature branch, right? So I'm kind of like on my feature branch. And if I do a git log, you can see it's gotten both of the commits. Let's do git log main, right? All the commits from the main branch are email main users, text main users. This one, remember, was extra. But once I did that git rebase main, it put this one on the feature branch. It first applied that one on the feature branch. So let's take a look at it. Git log feature branch. Right? Let's git log feature branch. It has that common commit, and then it has this one, email feature users. It's thinking, it hasn't really applied this one yet, I don't believe. It hasn't really applied this one yet. Unless it broke my no, it didn't break my rebase. Okay, so we're in here basically, and you can also see that here. So let's try to understand this. When it's saying this is the current change, like the wording isn't ideal. What it really means is this is current change. This is the text main users. So wait a second. Maybe I called it something wrong. Maybe I just called the commit wrong. Email main users. This is what it's. This is, I think, the current head. I don't know why it doesn't show it exactly. This is where my branch currently looks like features. Because remember, it applied the email main users. This one was common, and then it applies the other main commit. So that's this text main users. This is the incoming change, right? This is my commit, my feature commit that it's now going to try to apply on top. And basically what it's asking me is like, do I want to keep both? Is this an additional feature, or is this like an actual conflict where both me and the admin or whoever we're doing the same thing? So if I was, if I like want to replace what the guy did, I can like say, hey, get rid of what he did. Like this is what I want my code to look like at the end of this. Instead, what I want to do is actually probably we'll just say this is a new feature. And what I'm leaving here is the state that I want this third commit, this new feature commit. This is what I want my code to look like at the end of this feature commit. Just this first kind of unique one, not the second unique one. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to have to do, if I do, in order to make actually like apply this, I'm going to have to do git add index.py and then do git rebase -- continue. And now it's going to try to apply that second feature commit. Oh shoot, what just happened here? Okay, I have to add a commit message. So this is just the commit message. So that's going to be email the new feature users. So this is what I want, this is the state that I want this commit to look like. Email, we can do this all again. Sorry, it's feeling confusing. So email the new feature users. So this is going to be that one first new feature commit. All right, so it's email main users, text main users. These all came from the main branch. This is that first commit that's going to be on top. Okay. And now we can just close the file actually, and it will go to the next one. Wait, I thought I would have had, let's take a look at the log. Email feature. So I guess it didn't give me an error. It didn't give me a commit with this guy. I'm a little surprised. But just take a look at what occurred. So we had the email main users, text main users. I think it might not have given me a merge conflict here. And then just gave me one here. I'm not sure. I might have to do it again. But the point is, like, what you're doing, there's two things that I kind of had to realize, which is when you're making, you have to look at you want to look at what commit are you a part of? Like, what commit are you, like, contributing to? And then think about, when you're making your update, think about what is the state that you want to be in, that you want your code to be in when you make this commit. Like when you want to make this commit. Let's do this whole thing one more time. All right, so I want to do this whole thing again.
Hey Jeff, before you which one is which? Incoming versus the incoming change versus
the incoming change is the change your feature branch commit that you're applying on top.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're in that branch and you're doing a rebase.
The reason why it's that one, unless I understand it wrong, but I'm pretty almost positive. The reason why it's that one is because if you think about what occurred, here's the main branch, then we do the feature branch, okay, and then the main branch has this one commit. Then we go and we do our get rebase origin. So think about what happens. This commit gets applied first. There's no conflict here, right? Then there's a conflict when my feature branches get applied. So what it says is, like head, current change, that's this guy. And then it says incoming change. Incoming change is the next commit being applied. And then if there's another conflict, incoming change would again be the successive commit being applied. So what you're doing is you're telling it, when you're fixing the merge conflict, you're saying, what do you want this commit to look like? And what do you want this commit to look, if there's another conflict, what do you want this commit to look like? That's what you're like, it's like giving you another check at this thing, It's like taking you through it again. So let's do it one more time. Like I said, I didn't really understand merge conflicts for 10 years. So let's do this again because maybe this will help.
That's the great thing about this course. Took you 10 years. We're gonna learn it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's good for me too. It's about time.
That's why it's called boot camp.
Yeah. So here we go. So we're going to do make directory, cd the conflict repo. So we're going to cd into the conflict repo, do a git init, make a new write file. This will basically add, and this you can see this is like, this is just adding. Let's do code dot. So this is just adding that feature, email main users. Then the next thing we'll do is check out the feature branch and add 2 new commits, right? So these are going to be unique features here. So now if you look at it, this is from my feature branch. We have this common commit, and then we have these 2 new ones. Email new features, text new features, right? And then we'll do git log, right? So you can see we have these 3 commits here on the feature branch. And then I'm going to check out main. And this guy only has 1 commit, right? That 1 common commit. And you can see that. And now we'll say, like, while I was developing my feature, some admin, some dude, he added this texting feature about the main users. So let's do this. And now we can look. So now if you look at this, this main branch, we have email main users, text main users. And that's these 2 lines in the index.py. If we then check out the feature branch, right, then we have the common commit, right? This was common with main, and we have 2 new features in the feature branch, okay? So our goal is going to be to get that, what that other guy was doing, put that here, right? Add that commit here, and then the other commits are going to be on top. And what we'll probably see is that his commit's going to be successful. There's not going to be any conflicts at that point. It's going to be, once we try to apply our changes on top, that we're going to have issues. All right? Because that's where it's going to be, like, hey, this other person just did the same thing it looks too similar to just accept it. So we're going to add, it's going to at least give us the option to change it, to say, like, are you sure you want to do this? So now we're on, let's just make sure. We're on the feature branch. We'll do git rebase main. Okay. So the first thing, so take a look. Could not apply email feature users. You see that? So this already tells you kind of where you are. That it has already at this point applied the main branch's new commit, and the conflict is in this emailing of the feature users. Okay, this is where the conflict is. Here, this is by the way, saying the same thing. This is the hash that it's trying to apply of the git commit, and then or the SHA, and then this is the name of the commit message that's trying to commit. And then if you look at it, email feature users, that's this one. That's the incoming change, right? That is applying on top, trying to apply on top. The current one, notice that's my text main users. This one was already like successfully applied, all right? If I do I think I should still be able to do a git log without messing anything up. If I do the git log, you can see that. Email main users, that was always common. This one was applied, text main users during the rebase. And now we're about to apply this third one, email feature users. And that's the incoming change, right? That is trying to apply next. So now it's asking us, it's like, wait a second, am I trying to do the same thing that this admin person also did? Or is this like an additional feature? Or maybe did he do a better job, right? So if he did a better job than me and we were both doing the same thing, I could, just delete what I'm doing. I'm not going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I just want to stick to what I know. So I'm just going to say that this is a new feature, all right? And what I'm doing is I'm leaving my code in the state that I want it to be when I finally apply this commit, right? So far what I did was I merged in the main branch commit of this text main users. I'm about to apply this email feature users, and I'm leaving my code in the proper state for this commit. And I'm just going to follow the instructions. resolve all conflicts manually, mark them as resolved. Okay, so I resolve them manually. I'm going to mark them as resolved by doing git add, right, and then add the file. So I'll do git add. This is what I git add index.py. And now to actually apply this commit, I'll do the git rebase -- continue. Okay, now it's giving me that option, right? This is the commit that it had a conflict in applying, and it's just saying, okay, you sure you want to call it this? And I do. So it says, please, and you can all again read the instructions. Please enter the commit message for your changes. Line starting with a hashtag will be ignored, so we don't have to worry about it. Interactive rebase is in progress, right? This will all be ignored. It's just for me to know. This is this is kind of where we are now. Email feature users, and this was what we're going to do next in the rebase. Text feature users. Okay. So now if I close this file, it's going to go try to apply this one. And I'm not sure, it seemed like last time there was not a conflict. Let's see if there is. There just didn't end up being a conflict with that fourth one. So with the fourth one, we have text, new feature users, and just successfully applied it without any issue. Okay. So that's, right, hopefully that you kind of like understand a merge conflict. What was happening there is we spun off from main. We have the feature branch. We made on the feature branch 2 new commits. Then while we were doing that, someone made a commit here. They changed the same file. Let's say this is a main commit number 1. They changed the same file that we were working on here. So then we went on to feature. We wanted to like get this commit onto our branch so that we could share this common history. So we did a rebase, and we placed this person here, this commit here. That was successful. Then the conflict came here, right? And again, we kind of had to specify this is the incoming. Our commit was the incoming change, and we needed to specify what was the state that we want the code to look like when we apply this commit. Once we have that done, we do git index add, or basically just git add and git rebase -- continue. That will apply this change and ask us to specify our commit message. Once we close down Vim or VS Code, it will then go try to apply this next one. And we just didn't have a conflict here. Okay, and then it's done. At that point, we're like 2 commits ahead. What we can do is check out our main branch, merge these 2 additional ones here, and that way we haven't changed history at all. We just added our new features on top, and then we can ultimately push that to the same feature branch on GitHub, and then make a pull request to merge that onto the main branch on GitHub. Okay, Kyle asks if you have GitHub branch off another branch. So first of all, I'm just going to stop you there because I don't recommend doing that. Right? So it's like, what if I take I have this branch and I make like another branch off of that? Again, like I don't recommend doing that. Like other kind of techniques for Git is like get in sync with the main branch early and often, So like it's going to be painful when you do it. You know what I mean? Like what happens is people decide, oh shoot, I don't want to waste an hour today, syncing up with the main branch. I'm going to get merge conflicts. So then they just wait till the next day and wait till the next day. And then it just gets harder, because you're more and more out of sync with the main branch. So what you want to do is really like, rebase. There's like 2 kind of good techniques. One is like rebase early and often. And the other one is try not to change, to change the same files simultaneously. So what that means is like typically dev teams are aware of this because they know what stories are going on, or like they assign different parts of the code base to different teams, and that avoids changing the same files repeatedly. Two different teams changing the same files. And Eric recommended a Git book. It is good to understand this stuff. Certainly, you can go very far with Git. Cool. Okay, so the readings will, kind of move you through that. Like I said, it's worth